beautiful, gorgeous human beings. Tawny Janae here. We are on our mats together for a short, cute yoga session, and we're going to activate the entire physical body. We're on our mats just for a little bit, and we're going to energize and activate and awaken the body in an incremental way, focusing on all the different major muscle groups. We're going to do some good work on our mat. We're going to start out slow, and then we're going to just have the loveliest start to our day with movement. Are you ready? So we're going to start in a toe sit type child's pose. What does that mean? Don't worry, I'm going to show you. Place your hands down on the mat and then shimmy your feet a little bit away from you. I want you to tuck the toes, yeah? Get the big toes to touch. Now you're going to open the knees out wide. So the toes are tucked and you're going to sit onto your heels. So you get a toe sit in a child's pose in one movement. Since it's a short amount of time on our mat, we're getting twofers in. So we're going to begin with the breath. The toes should be singing. You can lower and recline your forehead all the way down to the mat or even your chin, whatever you're into. I'm just going to stay up so I can talk to you guys. So use your hands and lift the elbows to activate the arms and really press the hands into the mat to reach your hips towards your heels. So your booty towards your heels, yes. And then the toes get stretched, the bottom of the feet gets some love, and you can close the eyes because there's nothing that you need to see. The sensation in the feet should be kind of hovering around a 7 at most. Now, if it exceeds a 7, if anything feels crunchy or painful, you just back off. We get to listen to the messages in our body. I want you to keep this opening in the feet, and if it really just gets to be too much, you can always point the toes and sit the hips back. It's no biggie. Wherever you are, close your eyes. Start to focus on the breath, bringing some more attention and activity to the breath. Lengthening the inhales and the exhales. Trying to fill up completely with oxygen, saturating your lungs with fresh air. And then exhale, vacuum seal your lungs, press out all the stale air. And let everything go. Yesterday, your to-do list, come back into the body, let it all go. Breathe in 2 more times like that, all the way into the chest. And exhale fully. 1 more, make this breath even deeper than the last and keep the arms active. Keep the hands pressing into your mat, encouraging the hips towards the heels, decreasing the distance between your butt and your heels. Your feet should be loving this opening. Groovy. When you're ready, on your next inhale, you can gaze in between your thumbs, walk your hands back just a little bit, and you're going to start to exhale the hips back and inhale into this tabletop position. Exhale, reach the hips back and really press down into the heels of your hand and the pointer finger knuckles to press your hips back, and then inhale to come forward. So now what we're doing is we're connecting movement to breath. So let the inhale initiate the forward movement. And the exhale, initiate the backward movement. And if you want more range of motion, you can walk your hands back, out, forward, towards the top of your mat. Saying hello to the shoulder joints. Opening the armpits slightly. Never dumping into the armpits, but really trying to activate the shoulders, the arms, the triceps, all the good things in the upper body. Good. From here, walk your hands in just a paw print to where your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Then widen the toes, so now your knees are situated right under your hips. You can keep the toes tucked. I love footwork. I love keeping the feet involved, but if it's too much, you can always point the toes. We're focusing on the wrists, so our hands are down for a lot of the yoga practice, right? The down dogs, the tabletops, the plank positions, side planks, and we want to keep our wrists happy and healthy, so let's train them. You're going to take wrist push-ups. What are those? I'm going to show you. You're going to lift the base of the wrist up and then slowly lower down. We lift up quickly and then we slowly lower. So my thumbs are tucked in. You don't really need them. I'm bending at the knuckle crease where it meets the hand. I'm not coming up onto my finger pads. I'm lifting up fast and then I'm slowly lowering. You should feel a nice burning sensation in the forearm and a stretching in the hands. And if you're like, I don't feel anything, this is so easy. Shift some weight forward and then you're going to be like, oh, aha, this is hard. As you lift, I want most of the weight coming into the medial side of the hand, like the pointer finger knuckle, the middle finger knuckle, to the inside of the hand. and then slowly lower. And if you're like, this is way too hard, I can't do this, set the hips back and do the same thing. Forward is the gas, backwards is the brakes. Try to find a place where you're feeling and experiencing sensation in your forearms, but it's nothing too crazy painful. Nice. Give me 4 more. Fast up, slow down. Fast up, slow, slow, slow. Good, last 2. And now give me 10 so quick. Bust it out. Yes. Reach. Lift. This is so healthy for your shoulders. Happy, intelligent hands and wrists mean happy, intelligent shoulders. This is so good for you for 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Sit onto your heels, a nice little sneaky toe sit. Again, if it's too much, you can point the toes. It's no big deal. Just shake out the wrists. Maybe do some exaggerated wrist rolls. Getting some blood flow back into the fingertips. Glorious. From here, let's pay attention to our shoulders. Now that our hands are trained to root the pointer finger knuckles into the mat, almost trying to lift them, keep that engagement and then just start to, with the arms straight, do some shoulder push-ups, some scapula push-ups. What does that look like? It's when you're squeezing the wing bones down your back to kiss behind you and then pressing them away from each other like someone has their hand on your upper back and you're pressing it up with your heart to the sky. Just like that, lower, squeeze the shoulders, chest lowers, and then press out of the hands. Now, if this isn't too hard, there's another option. You get to stretch your legs out straight into a plank position and give me shoulder push-ups here. I know you just woke up. Maybe this is the first practice of the day. Maybe it isn't, but you want to activate your body. The yoga is the physical practice. So it is physical. We want to strengthen all of our joints, pay attention to our bodies, train the mind to be right here in our bodies on the mat. What better way than to do some shoulder push-ups? Good for 3. Yes, for 2. Woo! And last 1. Nice. Drop to the knees if your knees were lifted. Again, sit onto your heels. The toes can be pointed this time and do some wrist rolls. Nice. From here, we're going to love on our hips. So, doing this in an incremental way. I'm coming down to the forearms since we were on our arms for quite some time. You're going to extend the right leg back out behind you. Just like we did those shoulder push-ups, I want you to press out of the shoulders, keeping the heart reaching towards the sky. Kick the heel up and try to reach the pinky side edge of the foot down. Notice your right leg. I want you to feel the skin on the back of the knee spread because the leg is so straight, so streamlined, so sexy, almost to the point where you're shaking and you're like, why am I shaking? I'm only doing this simple posture. You are squeezing, hugging muscles to bones. From here, I want you to widen, lifting the toes to the wide edge of your mat and then bringing the leg bone parallel, just straight out from your hip, and then bring it back. So now we're discovering the range of motion in our hips in a very active way. Good. Connecting the breath to movement. As you exhale, the leg swings wide. Try to keep the heel lifted, lifted, lift as much as possible. And then inhale, bring it back. Exhale out to the side. Inhale, bring it back. Good. From here, give me little teeny tiny 2-inch tiny pulses with the heel squeezing up, up. Yes. Squeeze for 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Bring the knee in to connect to the other. Now you're just going to make simple knee circles. You can come up onto your hands now. So now you're just discovering the range of motion in your hips in a more passive way, but we've opened up and engaged the booty, which is a great way to start this movement. Make sure you're not locking out your elbows. Make this movement really dramatic, going in a circle, and then reversing the direction. Hello, hips. How are they doing? Nice. 1 more. Circle in the knees. Reach the right leg super far back, and then exhale, tuck the knee into your nose all the way, maybe even give it a kiss. Love you, knee. Then you're going to step the right foot all the way through, coming into a low lunge. Now, once you arrive in your low lunge, you can come all the way up. Let's take this slow. I want you to increase the distance between your heels. So you can shimmy your right foot forward or your left heel back, doesn't matter, your call. And try to find a place where you can sink a little deeper into your hips while keeping your arms straight. So you're going to interlace your hands on top of the right thigh, a little bit closer to the knee, and then straighten the arms. Roll the shoulders back. As you exhale, I want you to deepen the lunge. And then inhale, back off, squeeze thigh bones together. Notice, the entire time when I come forward, I'm not letting the front of my hips dip forward. I want to keep this articulation in the hips, reaching the top of the hip point backwards. When we lower, and especially when we lift. Pulling in, exhale to lower, inhale to lift. A few more just like this. Connect with your own breath at your own pace. This is so good for your hips, for your lower back. How are your front toes? Pick up your front toes. You don't need them. Last two. And one. Nice. Arrive here. Pull your low belly in. Grab your own hips. Really make sure the top of the hips point up to the sky. Keep your right hand on your right hip. Lift the left hand up and over and find a nice side body stretch. Keep this left hip reaching upwards. The pulling in of the low belly will help a ton here. And really find a nice long line of energy, a straight arm reaching up, and a stretch from the left hip to the left shoulder, to the left elbow, left pinky. Inhale through center. Exhale, hands to mat. Step back. Now we get to do the other side, but in between sides, we can flow through a few rounds of a traditional cat-cow. As you inhale, the belly drops, the shoulders roll back. You breathe in, smile the face. Exhale, round the spine, tuck your belly button to the spine, spine to the sky, chin into the cleft of your collarbone. Breathe in, arch the back. Exhale, round. Take a few rounds at your own pace with your own breath, discovering the range of motion in your spine now, bringing some fluidity into the spine. It should feel really good. We're lubricating all of our discs. Last one, breathe in and out. Cute. From here, we're going to now pay attention to the left side. Let's even ourselves out. You come down to the forearms, just like on the right. Extend the left leg out perfectly straight. Let's set ourselves up for success. So you remember the pinky side edge of the foot. I want it to reach down every time you land in this position. Use the left glute to lift the heel higher, and then straighten the leg so much you feel the skin on the back of the knee spread. On the exhale, the left leg is going to swing out to the side, toes pick up, and you're trying to keep that heel as high as possible, ladies and jelly spoons. And then as you inhale, you're bringing it back in line, pinky side edge of the foot, down, down, down. Yes. Yes. The exhale takes you out. And the inhale brings you back. Good. A few more like this. I am already sweating. I am hugging, squeezing. Everything is mindful. I'm trying to recruit all the muscles in my body onto my mat. Squeeze muscles to my skeleton. Getting the most out of the time on the mat. Nice. Last one. And shoot the leg back. From here, you can come onto the hands if you'd like. Keep that idea of a wrist push-up, so you're pressing into the knuckles really firmly. And then bend the knee, try to kick your own booty, and do some knee circles. How's the left hip doing? What's the range of motion look like in the left hip compared to the right? I have my right toes tucked for a little bit of support. Making exaggerated circles going one direction. And then the other, switching it up, driving the knee in and then wide. Good. For 3, 2, no hyperextending of the elbows. And 1, nice. Inhale, extend the left leg straight, lengthen out completely, breathe in. Exhale, knee rounds to nose, maybe even give it a kiss. lovey knee. Step the left foot in between the hands and then rise up. No big deal if your foot's here. Just want you to increase the distance between the heels. So shimmy your left foot forward, right knee back. I have the back toes tucked for support. It just feels really nice. So let's love on our hips some more. Interlace the hands at the top of the thigh. Straighten the arms so you situate your shoulders right over your hips, and then keep this pulling in and up of the belly. Notice how that puts the stretch so deliciously into the right hip. As you exhale, you're going to sink a little deeper into this lunge, increasing sensation in the front of the right hip and maybe a few other places. And then as you inhale, squeeze your femur bones, your thigh bones together. Just like that, inhale to lower. Exhale, pull in. Gather your low belly in. Inhale, lower. Exhale, squeeze. A few more like this. With your breath sinking low. When you come up, trying to reach the low belly up and the top of the hips, up, up, up. Last one. Perfect. Stay here in this upwards position. So the thigh bones are, oh shit. I burped. Cut there. So stay here in this upright position. The thigh bones are squeezing together. Take the left hand to your left hip. I like to hold it like this. And then inhale the right arm up and over. Try to find this side body stretch. This is the trifecta, baby. Oh my gosh, your hip flexor loves this. Keep the low belly tracking towards the spine and the back of the mat. And then lengthen the right arm. A ton activity in the fingers. And then how are the front toes? You don't need them. Pick them up. Take a few breaths here. It doesn't have to be a huge side body reach. Just want sensation to be happening in the body. Last breath. And exhale, release the hands to your mat. Step back to where the knees connect so they're in line with one another. Keep them a little bit wide. We're now going to create an exaggerated cat-cow, which looks like this. As you inhale, you come forward, the hips drop. It's kind of like a variation of upward dog, yes. Shoulders roll back, and you can even bend the knees if you'd like. Try to touch your toes to your head. And then exhale, sit back, child's pose. Like that, breathe in, gather your body towards the front of your mat. Knees bend, arch the back, roll the shoulders back. Reach the chin up and smile. Exhale, hips send to the back of the mat. Same with the toes. Arching the back. A few more at your own pace. You breathe in, the breath guides you forward. And then the exhale, the chin tucks, spine rounds, hips send to the back of the mat. Beautiful. Last one, breathe in. And out. Nice. Land in your child's pose, and you can even sway side to side. I love working out, massaging the hips. You're like using your own femur bones on the inside of your hips to give yourself a little massage. It's really quite glorious. From here, you're going to reach your hands out in front of you, pull yourself through, and then find your high plank position. Your high plank position, I'm so hot, my hair is everywhere. I'm literally drenched in sweat and have crotch sweat. I keep wiping my belly because beads of sweat are coming down. It's fucking hot. Okay, whatever. You're doing great. How many? No, we're not in Egypt. Yeah, I can do anything. This is great, you guys. We're doing great. Okay, we did these. Cool. Nice. You can pull yourself through, tuck the toes, and come into a plank position, a high plank. Pull your low belly in, and I want a long line from your heels to your hips to your shoulders, and then the face smiles. The body is activating so much. We're drawing a line down the center of our body and squeezing everything into it, and then we have this nice, calm, beautiful smile on our faces. Hello, body. This is the best way to warm up. I love shifting forward and back in a plank. I get a nice little calf stretch when my heels reach back. Ooh, there it is. And then as I come forward, it tones the shoulders. Breathe. Shift forward. Remember that little wrist push-up we did? Think about doing that here to protect the wrists, to have happy, healthy shoulders. For 3, 2, and 1. Send the hips up and back. Your first downward dog of the day, maybe the practice. Keep the spine really long, and if that means bending the knees, by all means, babe, bend your knees generously. Even with the knees bent, you can still try to articulate the heels down toward the mat. And even if the knees are bent, I want you to lift all 10 of your toes. Yeah, how's that for activation of the legs? Hello, front of the legs, the shins are on fire. With the toes lifted and all this activation, maybe, just maybe, attempt to straighten the legs. They don't have to go fully straight. If they do, awesome. If they don't, awesome. You're gonna land here every time. On the inhale, we're coming into a high plank. And on the exhale, you're finding that perfect down dog. Take your time, breathe in, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Just like that, a few more. Take it so slow. If we're letting the breath initiate the movement, and we're trying to slow the movement, we want to slow the breath. So keep the breath long, mindful and thoughtful. And the movement long, slow and mindful. Breathe in and out. Last 3. You can even close the eyes. Last 2. Coming so high onto the toes, remembering the toes lift when you come back. Last 1. Exhale, landing in your down dog. Lift the hips up, bend the knees generously, and take a nice, cute walk on your tippy toes slowly to the front of your mat. Now, your knees can bend. It's no big deal. Just see how far you can go today. Ooh, can you trust your shoulders? Nice. Bend the knees, land the heels down. Shake your head yes and no. This is to remind the neck to relax. I want you to bring the drama onto your mat. Grab opposite elbows, put the thumbs into the crooks of your elbows, the bends, yeah? And then sway side to side with your knees bent. I want you to sway side to side so hard, you're trying to look at the back of your calves. Hello, calves. I just really want you to sway, have some fun, do what I'm doing, and mop the floor with your hair if you have any. Oh my goodness, I'm just teasing, but I really am mopping the floor with my hair. Keeping the neck super relaxed, so the skin on the back of the neck now spreads. Just a few more breaths. Enjoy the swing. Close the eyes. Feel into your body. Trust your balance. Nice. Bring that motion to a close. Open the eyes and let the hands meet the mat. Heel toe your feet apart from one another. Keep the toes out, the heels in, and sit into a Malasana squat. Hair flip if you need. Now from here, you can sway side to side if it calls to you, but that sway is all sorts of small and mindful. You can pick up toes with you and knees with you, or heels, toes and heels, right? And the knees keep reaching wide. If you want some more stillness, call it in, take it here. You can have your hands at heart center and the elbows on the inside of the knees to facilitate a deeper opening in the hips. Because when you reach the thumbs towards heart center at Anjali Mudra, you get this nice tall idea of good posture, which is what we want. Nice. This is the last posture of the class. Marinate here. We've loved on every part of our body in an incremental way, so you are set up for the rest of your day. Connect back to your breath for these final moments. Give yourself a soft smile for some gratitude for your willingness to show up for yourself on your mat. Get a little sweaty, at least I am, and smile through some uncomfortable but delicious postures. Nice. Whenever you're ready, you can release the bind from heart center, tent the fingertips at the top of your mat, and begin to straighten the legs just a little bit. Let the head hang heavy, and when you're ready, you can roll ever so slowly. One vertebra at a time, all the way up to standing until the head is the very last thing to come up. Feeling a nice stretch in the back body, the posterior chain. To do a casual hair flip because I kept my hair down. So that is it. That is a quick, cute way to really energize the body. First thing in the morning to set you up for success, whether it's going to be continuing to do a more strenuous and demanding yoga practice, to get your fitness on, or to attack what you love, your job, your family, whatever it is. I am so grateful that you chose me to practice with today. I hope you have the most beautiful day. Stay hydrated, my friends. Namaste. Tani Janae.